elected to swap home and away series with Northeast, and that's how we ended up in Boonville here on Saturday. One out, runners on second and third, and Hopper still at the dish. Hopper hits one out to right field. It's a line drive to the right fielder. Moore is going to try to score from third. They're going to try to get Bradley at third, and they do get the out for Bradley, but the score does count. And welcome back to action, ladies and gentlemen, as we move to the bottom of the first inning. Mallory Moore sitting in with us. Formerly Mallory Hill. We talked with her about her playing days, and also back in the day as she was friends with Chief Winnemall, as we like to say. Your score 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. It's going to be Gates, Springer, and Cooper due up here in the bottom half of the inning for Northeast. In the circle is going to be Cassidy Hardy. We'll give you the defensive setup here momentarily. Is that first pitch low for a ball? All right, as we have the lineup set now, let's take a look at this defensive lineup brought to you by Coca-Cola. And the infield, you've got at third base, Maddie Lucan. Shortstop is Caitlin Bradley. Second baseman is Haley Moore. And at first is Arian Henry. We talked about in the circle is Cassidy Hardy. And behind the plate is Autumn Bonner. That pitch high for a ball, so 4 straight pitches results in a leadoff walk to Gates. In the outfield, you look in left field, you've got Lakin Schenkel. Center fielder is Roberts. And then in right field, you've got Kara Hopper. The flex today will be Taylor Thornton batting for the pitcher. So a leadoff walk to Gates. That bunt fouled back for strike one. Once again, no flinch out of Raphael Henry with the softballs coming his way. Raphael doing a great job today running the camera for letsgoicc.com. We do want to welcome everyone throughout the nation watching, as we've got some of the family members of Hannah and Caitlin Bradley, or excuse me, Caitlin Downey watching in Missouri, as well as a lot of people from the Northeast area watching as well. We do want to welcome them here on letsgoicc.com. Remind you, if you're watching here and you want to go check out some bluegrass, well, we got the 19th annual Gospel Bluegrass concert tonight at the Davis Event Center. Gates tries to steal and does so successfully as the throw came up a little short, so runner moves into scoring position now for Northeast. Tickets available for $25. They're being sold at the door at the Davis Event Center. It starts at 3:30 with the pre-show, and the Grammy-nominated Daily and Vincent will start things off at 4:30. So you want to be sure to head out there and check out a great night of gospel bluegrass music. I know Raphael is excited. That pitch in the dirt gets away, and the runner will advance. So Hardy struggling here early. We saw Cassidy in game one. She actually got the start in left field. So she's getting the start here in the circle in game two. Tying run at third, shot right back up the middle. Throw to first is in time. They're going to try to score the run at home and do so. So score that one 5-3 on the putout, but the run does score for Gates. So now we're tied at 1. So a nice job of base running by Gates.
Number 13, Yasmin Cooper.
Now it will be Cooper. Cooper digs in with 1 out and nobody on. That pitch across for a strike. If you're just now joining us, ICC picked up a run rule victory, 13-3 in 5 innings in game 1. Looking for the sweep here on the road in Boonville in game 2. That pitch dropped off the table just before it got to the plate for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here on Cooper. Again, we talked about the crowd coming out today. A nice crowd, a beautiful day for softball, considering the weather we've had all week. It's I guess a couple of degrees shy of a Chamber of Commerce day out here in Boonville. 1-1 is your score. There's one out. There's a shot. Nice glove across the way by Lukens. Throw across in time. Nice play that time by Maddie to get the put out. That's a Dr. Ron Wheeler and Wheeler Family Dentistry in Fulton play of the game nominee right there. And that gets the second out of the inning. And now up will be Christian for Northeast. Change up across for a strike. Well, that is a softball pitcher's best friend. If you can get that dropping for strikes, you can really keep batters on their heels throughout the contest. Second pitch, sped it up that time, drifted across, and I believe called that one a ball maybe. He did. Just a little too inside for his liking at the dish. Both these umpires, or at least so far here in game 2, have not been corner friendly. As that one, as soon as I say that, catches the corner of the plate for a strike. 1-2 now is the count here on Christian. 1-1 is your score. We're in the bottom of the first inning of game 2 between ICC and Northeast. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. They're going to say, oh, said he tipped it that time. That was not a foul ball. She hit the plate, not the ball. So a break there for Northeast. This pitch lifted. Hopper drifting over and gets the put out. So after one complete, we're tied 1-1 here in Boonville. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout. Arian Henry, the first baseman, will lead things off here. Henry in game 1 went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs, but she also had a pair of doubles in that game. That pitch just high, missing for ball 1. Henry did have 2 doubles in that game. Takes that pitch across for a strike. Well, the umpire doesn't have a bark when he calls a strike, so we're having to watch him versus listen for the balls and strike call. 1-1 should be the count here on Arian Henry. Van Lanningham in the circle for Northeast. Henry swings on this one, drifting back to the wall, and a catch over the shoulder made that time by Northeast. Jordan Waters for out number 1. Thought there for a second. Henry had enough power to get that one out of the park, but the wind kind of blowing in here in game 2 knocked that one down. So 1 out as Lakin Schenkel will dig in here. We're tied 1-1. So Schenkel getting her first at bat here in game 2. Takes that first pitch high for a ball. Of course, you want to visit letsgoicc.com. There's been multiple changes made to the schedule due to the wrath of Mother Nature last week. So that pitch in there for a strike. 1-1 now is the count. Do remind you our next scheduled broadcast here on letsgoicc.com is for Thursday, I believe at noon, when the Lady Indians take on East Central in the Region 23 tournament. That pitch high and outside for a ball. That tournament coming your way from Mississippi College. Of course, the winner of that tournament will advance on to the NJCAA National Tournament, where the Lady Indians played 2 years ago at Salina, Kansas. So Schenkel at the plate right now for the Lady Indians. Van Lanningham delivers. There's a shot right back up the middle, and Lakin Schenkel gets a 1-out single right back up the middle. The second hit of the contest here in game 2 for the Lady Indians. And now up will be Autumn Bonner. Bonner is the catcher here also for game 2. She caught game 1.
Autumn Bonner.
On deck will be Maddie Lukens. So Bonner digs in, 1 out. Top of the second, we're tied at 1. Runner goes, a little hit and run action going that time. Run, throw across the way is in time to get Bonner. 4-3 on the putout, but it did advance the runner to second. So now Lukens looking to try to spark a 2-out rally here. The third baseman will dig in with the runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the first.
Number 13, Maddie Lukens.
We talked about Lukens. She had a nice play with a stab down the line to throw out over at first. She takes that first pitch in there for a strike. She too missed the first game of the day. Getting the start here in the second. So Van Lanningham taking her time, getting the pitch call from her catcher. Delivers. Matt Lukens fouls that one off for strike 2. So jammed her a little bit on that inside pitch, like it may have been fouled off her foot. The umpire comes up and gives her a second or two to be able to catch her breath. So 0-2 is going to be the count here on Lukens. Got a runner on second in Lakin Schenkel. Lady Indians and the Lady Tigers tied here 1-1 in game 2. Lukens takes that pitch high and out of the zone. 4-1, 1-2 now is the count here on the sophomore from Saltillo. If Lukens were to reach, then Taylor Thornton would be on deck for the Lady Indians. There's a shot right back up the middle, and that's going to be an RBI single for Lukens. They're going to turn Schenkel, and she sides in safely. Lukens tries to get back, and she's out, but the run will count. So Lukens with a RBI, brought to you by the Sonic of Fulton. Ladies and gentlemen, as we step now into the bottom of the second inning, the Lady Indians lead this one 2-1. Cassidy Hardy in the circle and gets that first pitch across for a strike. Adam Gore, Raphael Henry, perched in the ICC Foundation broadcast picnic table here in Boonville. An interesting point of view, bringing you this action today here at David M. Carnell Jr. Memorial Field. That pitch outside for a ball. 1-2, I believe, now goes to count here on Waters. You've got Waters, G, and Gillian. I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name. 2 up here in the bottom of the second. That pitch low and in the dirt. Couldn't quite get her to chase on anything that time, so even up the count now at 2-2. We do want to welcome everyone watching, supporting the Northeast Lady Tigers. We talked about Northeast broadcasting their baseball games today. There's a shot lifted, and it's going to be to the gap. Waters will have a leadoff double here. That time, after falling behind the count 0-2, did a good job of working into a hitter's count and ripped one to the gap. And so now that'll bring up Whitney G. Whitney G is going to dig in with a runner on second. That first pitch across for a strike. Talked about Cassidy Hardy. She got the start in left field in game 1. Not typically her position. She batted as well. I think it went 0 for 3 on the day. That pitch, a breaking pitch, low and outside for a ball. Leaves the count now at 1-1. Hardy's change up that time down the line to Lukens. Lukens throw across the way in time. The runner will advance to third after Lukens looked her back, was still able to get enough speed to get it across the way to advance to third. So now the tying run on third with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. So this is going to be, I believe, Gillian. Once again, I think I'm saying that name wrong because we have a football player named Gillian at ICC, and that's not spelled the same, but maybe it's Jolene. I was hoping that the PA announcer would call it out here for me to know. That pitch just a little low for a ball. 2-1, I believe, is the count here. No, excuse me, it's 2-0 is the count. Board showing 2-1. That pitch inside for a ball. 3-0 now is the count. Martin on deck. Van Lanningham in the hole here for Northeast. 2-1 ICC leads. But the Lady Tigers with a tying run on third. There's a shot right back up the middle. Moore gets it. Throws over in time for the out. But it does get the run in. That's a sonic RBI. Score that one 4-3 on the putout. But we are tied once again 2-2 here. And now up will be Martin for Northeast. So we're tied 2-2. We're in the bottom of the second. Nobody on, and 2 outs here for Martin. If Martin were to reach, then Van Lanningham, the pitcher, would be due up next for Northeast. Change up that time just falls off a little low for a ball. So game 2 of the doubleheader here. Lady Indians won the first one of the day, 13-3. That pitch across for a strike, evens the count now at 1-1. We talked about other former Lady Indians making it out to the field today. Emily Henderson coming out to support the Lady Indians today. Showed bunt. That pitch drops outside for a ball. I believe 2-1 now should be the count here on Martin. So Hardy throwing a lot of pitches here early in the contest. Trying to find her zone early. That pitch just outside for a ball. Well, neither one of these umpires are giving either team really the corners, so they're being consistent with their strike zones, albeit a rather small strike zone. This pitch popped back, fouled off the net for a strike. 2-2 now is the count here on Martin. Well, there's trouble in the ballpark now as Buddy Wayne in the house. Raphael, hide your wallet. There's a shot. Shortstop gets it, can't find it. And we'll see what they call that one. Are they going to rule it a, well, look at the scoreboard. Raphael, what do you say it is? Hit?
Number 5,
They're going to call it a hit.
Van Landingham.
So now up Van Landingham. So Van Landingham a chance to help her cause here with a base hit. We're tied 2-2. She slaps, hits up the middle. More gloves and puts the tag at second for the third out. So that's going to do it there. We've played 2. We're tied at 2. Back in 1 minute here from Boonville. Right after this in game 2 against Northeast. Taylor Thornton in the first game today. She went 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, had 3 RBIs. Lady Indians have 15 hits in the first game of the day. Van Lanningham still in the circle here for Northeast. Thornton takes that first pitch outside for a ball. Well, as we said, neither team has really been getting the outside corners call for them today, and that's the main thing you want. If the umpires are going to call it, you want to get them to call it consistently, and so far that's what they've done today. Thornton takes that one low for ball 2. Taylor Thornton, a freshman out of Carroll Academy. She is the flex player today. She got the start in center field in game 1. Pitch being delivered is high for a ball. 3-0 now is the count here on Thornton. If Thornton were to reach, then we go back to the top of the lineup with Moore and Bradley and Roberts. So you figure the red light is on here for Taylor. Ahead in the count now, 3-0. That pitch across the heart of the plate for a strike. 3-1 now goes the count here on Taylor Thornton. So Van Lanningham, as we talked about, a little bit more deliberate with her pitches than we saw in the first game's pitcher, as Thornton fouls that one off. Now the count goes 3-2. Good job by Thornton that time, as that would have been a borderline pitch called. 9 times out of 10, it would have been a strike called. But today, you really just don't know what you're going to get on the corners, as they haven't been giving them to them. Thornton fouls that one off, going to hustle it down, but they're going to call a dead ball. So Thornton battling, staying alive here. Umpire coming out to give Thornton a chance to catch her breath. I think that one's fouled off the back of her foot that time. Didn't seem to have a hitch in her giddy up as she was getting down the line. Raphael, that's you can write that down. You don't hear that very much in a broadcast. Hitch in your giddy up. Some Calhoun County lingo for you. That pitch, high for ball 4. Once again, nice job by Taylor Thornton getting on base. We saw her in the first game in that number 9 spot, which in softball, a lot of times you use that as a second leadoff batter. She did a good job of getting on base for us in the first game today. So no out, runner on first, and now up is going to be sophomore Haley Moore. Haley Moore, who has been starting at shortstop, getting to start at second today. Caitlin Bradley has shifted to shortstop. So a little confusion on the pitch call that time for Northeast. So Haley Moore, who reached on an error, scored a run in her first at bat in the first inning. Runner goes, pitch is popped up, and the runner makes the play. They try to double up Taylor, but a great job by Thornton that time getting back in a hurry. Impressive play by the first baseman, charging in all the way to get that one. A good rise ball pitch on the bunt. Got the pop out for Moore. So 1 out now. Lady Indians did a great job of hustling back. Did Taylor Thornton to avoid the double play, as that was just a nice defensive effort that time by the Lady Tigers. So now up will be Caitlin Bradley. We talked about it. She's the birthday girl today. Takes that first pitch for a strike. Bradley
Number 8, Caitlin
singled,
Bradley.
stole a base, but was put out trying to tag up on a sacrifice fly by Hopper to end the inning in the first. And in game 1 today, she had a nice game as she went 3 for 3 with 3 runs scored, 3 runs driven in, and a walk. That pitch in the dirt for a ball. Few clouds rolling into the area. Don't want them to get in front of the sun because it will get chilly in a hurry. Speaking of chili, Sonic of Fulton carrying those Frito chili pies that Raphael Henry loves oh so much, and would probably love one of those right now. That pitch high for a ball.
With the barbecue.
With the barbecue on it?
No, I want the barbecue from the bluegrass.
Oh, the barbecue, yes. Man, I hope they do have some barbecue left over for us when we get back over there, as the 19th annual Gospel Bluegrass concert set to go on. Actually start here in the next 30, all right, we'll call it about an hour probably. There's a shot and a nice stab that time, as the first baseman just stuck her glove out, said, look what I found, and then stepped on the bag to turn 2. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on the bags as the Lady Indians go scoreless in the top of the third. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll be back with more here from Boonville. We're tied 2-2 here in Game 2 in Boonville. Takes that first pitch low for a ball. 2-2 is your score here in Game 2 between ICC and Northeast here in this North Division opener for both squads. Good looking pitch that time, but once again, the umpires, as they did in Game 1, not giving the corners here in Game 2, but that's going for both teams today. So that pitch high for a ball. Once again, another one of those borderline pitches. So you've got a small strike zone in both games today, and of course as batters, you like that because you just have to sort of throw a meat. So that pitch right down Broadway for a strike. 3-1 now goes the count here on Gates. You got to figure Gates will probably be taken here on the second pitch. Instead, swings on that one and fouls it off. Really surprised that she swung on that one that time. So we talked about the small strike zone today. So now the count goes 3-2. So Hardy a chance to get that first Trustmark Bank strikeout of the afternoon here. 3-2 pitch coming from the freshman. Oh, thought she got her that time, but instead, talk about it, you're not getting the borderline calls today. And Coach Kurt's going to want to come out and talk to his pitcher. We're going to take a 15-second timeout here, and we'll be back with more. We're tied 2-2 in the bottom of the third between ICC and Northeast. It was a strikeout, throw him out. Gates looked like she went, but did get back in a hurry here. Gates has got a lot of speed. She is a freshman out of Houston. I believe they advanced to the 4A state title game last year. Bunt laid down and rolls foul. Smart play that time by Lukens to recognize the spin on the ball and let it roll foul. So 0-2 now is the count here on Springer. Gates got a really good jump on that one. Possibly could have turned that into going to third with Lukens having to charge up and cover. This pitch hit, fouled off, and out of play. Count will stay at 0-2. Remind everybody that if you're in the Fulton area looking for something to do tonight, head over to the Davis Event Center. The 19th Annual Gospel Bluegrass Concert coming your way. Snap throw down to first, not in time. That pitch outside for a ball. You still got a very few tickets left at the gate. Those going for $25. Might be able to sneak out there and find an extra barbecue plate. Pitch outside, snap down throw again, not in time. Henry that time leaving the tag on the runner until she called time. Did so, and now the count is at 2-2 here for Hardy. Pitch is in the dirt, runner's going to go, no throw. So a free pass for Gates. So now she moves into scoring position, no outs. Lady Indians, Northeast tied at 2-2.
Hey, excellent. A lot of confidence right here. Get your pitch.
That pitch inside for a ball. So as we said, these pitchers having to work against a very small strike zone. So the batters coming to the plate, basically not thinking about swinging. They'll protect the plate, but we're going to talk things over here. And it looks like we're going to have a McDonald's pitching change coming up. So she enters in a jam here. Lady Indians, Northeast tied at 2-2. There's no outs and runners on first and second here for the Lady Tigers in game 2. Lays down the bunt, covered nicely. Throw across the way is in time for out number 1. So Cooper basically with the sacrifice bunt to advance the runners. All sacrifices brought to you by the Baptist Student Union, the oldest organization on campus at ICC. So the Chris Bowes and company always doing a great job there. They meet Monday nights at 7:07 and Wednesdays during E period, which is during lunch. Located basically across from the President's house right off campus there in Fulton. That pitch outside and low for a ball. Well, runner, not the tying run, but now the go-ahead run on third here in Gates. Bradley's pitch shot down the line, but foul. You know, Bradley wants to have a good appearance here. She's basically in her backyard, being from Tisch County. Seeing some of her earliest action this season, typically a relief pitcher. But coming in early here as Hardy struggled finding the strike zone. That pitch low for a ball. Not really struggling finding the strike zone, it's just the umpires are not giving either of these pitchers their spots. We saw that in game one, and the same is going here in game two. That pitch coming, ripped down the line, is going to be in for a hit. One run will score. And so an RBI single by Christian. And that gives Northeast their first lead of the afternoon at 3-2. So that RBI brought to you by the Sonic of Fulton. And we have a courtesy runner into the game here for Northeast. That's going to be Shannon Good. So now Waters will come in with runners on the corners and one out here in the bottom of the third inning. Northeast leading for the first time this afternoon, 3-2 here in game two.
You're looking for your pitch right here. No chasing.
Try a double steal and a nice play that time by Bonner. Bonner not fooled on that one. And Springer caught stealing for out number 2. They tried the squeeze play that time, didn't get the bunt down. The runner took second. And then Springer was tagged out by Bonner. So a smart play that time for the sophomore to get the second out. Now Lady Indians just one out away from getting out of this inning with minimum damage done. Bradley facing Waters. Waters doubled and scored a run her first time up. Swings on that pitch and misses for strike one. 1-1 now is the count here on Waters. Lady Indians trying to get back in the dugout here and get the bats heated up here in game two. Looking for the sweep in the North Division. Swing and a miss for strike two. Couldn't catch up with back-to-back fastballs from Bradley. So now the count goes 1-2 here on Waters. If Waters were to reach, then Whitney G would be up next for the Lady Tigers.
Come on, Joe. Don't give in. Battle right here. You can score her from right
So
there.
Bulldog with the pitch. This one popped up. Hopper drifting over. Trouble. Drifts off in foul territory and makes the play. So Bulldog comes in and gets out of the inning with minimum damage done. Northeast takes a 3-2 lead. We're going to take a break and be back in 1 minute here on Let'sGoICC.com. Northeast leads 3-2 after 3. Roberts, better known as Red. They'll be facing Van Lanningham here. Van Lanningham's doing pretty good. She's only scattered 3 pitches today as Walt won. That first pitch high for a ball. She's given up 2 runs, one of those earned. That pitch high for ball 2. As we said, the first game today had a pretty good pace to it. It was just real quick. Both pitchers working in with haste. Today, this game has just a little bit less life to it, I guess you could say. Van Lanningham, pitch at the knee, but called a ball. As we said, This crew today is not liking the edges. So ahead in the count, 3-0 is Roberts.
Come on, come get her here. Working back.
Roberts waiting the pitch. Takes that one the whole way, goes for a strike. So 3-1 now is the count on Roberts. Sun starting to set in Boonville, and that means it's starting to get a little chilly. Roberts digs in for the 3-1 pitch. Takes an inside pitch, and that one's called for a strike. One of the rare pitches today that's been on the edge has been called for a strike. So 3-2 now is the count here on Red. She went to guard the dish here. Van Lanningham, who fell behind the count 3-0, trying to battle back in this one. Roberts fouls that one off to stay alive. Carrington Rye, a former Lady Indian, sending a message via the Facebook to me and Mallory. You can see our picture there on her Facebook page. Carrington, if you're listening back in Alabama, you can stay in Alabama after that comment. So Red waiting the 3-2 pitch. That one hit her, and hit her hard. As she tried to jump out of the way that time, she is limping down to first. On a cold day like today, you don't want to get hit by a pitch at all, but to get clipped in the ankle on one like that, the umpire's going to give her a chance to kind of run it off down there down the line. And so a leadoff hit by pitch issued to Roberts, and that's going to bring up Hopper, the right fielder. Hopper had a sacrifice fly to right
Number 6, right
in
fielder,
the
Kara Hopper.
first inning. Kara missed the first game of the day. Looking to spark a rally here as the Lady Indians trail 3-2. We're at the top of the fourth inning in game 2. That pitch just missing. I think the catcher standing up a little too quickly sometimes might be throwing off the umpire. And so Hop takes that first pitch for a ball. Red on first, no outs. Lady Indians trailing by 1, 3-2 here in the top of the fourth. That pitch, once again, just a little high for a ball. So we talked about it, and we'll continue to talk about it because it's been consistent for both teams. These umpires have very small strike zone this afternoon. Van Lenningham's 2-0 pitch, swung on, dribbler down to first. Springer gloves it and tosses over for the out. Score that one 3-4 on the putout, but the runner was able to advance into scoring position. So now the tying run on its second with Arian Henry.
First baseman, Arian Henry.
Coming to the plate. So Henry will dig in with 1 out and a runner in scoring position in Roberts. ICC trailing 3-2 here. First time they've trailed all afternoon. First pitch across the plate for a strike. Henry flew out to right in her first at bat to lead off the second inning. On deck will be Lakin Schenkel. Henry takes that one for a strike. So quickly ahead in the count now is Van Lanningham. So Henry will have to guard the dish here behind the count 0-2. 0-2 pitch coming. Low for a ball. They checked the swing, said she did not go, so 1-2 now is the count here on Henry.
Nice pitch, nice selection there.
Trying to get her to chase that time. The sophomore from Ecru was able to hold off on that pitch. That second pitch, high. 2-2 now is the count here on Henry. Lady Indians trying to spark a rally here. In the top of the fourth, they trail 3-2 in this North Division opener against the rivals of Northeast. Pitch coming, lifts it. Whitney G chasing over and takes the play in foul territory.
Nice job right there.
So G showing off her wheels in left field, able to chase that one down just foul. And so now that's 2 outs, and Lakin Schenkel at the plate. Schenkel singled and scored a run in the second. Coming to the plate with 2 outs now, trying to spark a rally here in the top of the 4th.
Number 1 left fielder Lakin Schenkel.
Schenkel, a sophomore out of Bruce. In game 1 today, Schenkel went 2 for 2 with 3 runs scored and a walk. Takes that first pitch across for a strike. Fastball. Made it across that time and instantly brought the catcher out. Typically don't see that out of a catcher after a nice pitch like that. Coming out to talk to our pitcher. Maybe a little miscommunication on the call that time. Making sure their cards are matching up. Something interesting you see in softball, I don't see in baseball, is they call out the
Go, be ready, Dave.
pitches by number. This pitch swung on, foul back, out of play for strike 2. So Lady Indians looking for a spark here. Not a whole lot of life. Out of the dugout across the way. If you're just now joining us, the Lady Indians picked up a 13-3 win in 5 innings in the first game of the day. Trying to complete the sweep on the road here in game 2 as they trail 3-2 and the top of the 4th. Once again, Van Lanningham being deliberate in her delivery. That pitch high for a ball. One and 2, I believe, is the count. So Schenkel still having to guard the dish behind in the count. Runner on second is Roberts. She is the tying run. Schenkel lifts one, pops it up to first, and that will end the inning there. So no runs, no hits, no errors. And the Lady Indians trail 3-2 as we move now to the bottom of the 4th. Back with more from Boonville right after this. Northeast has done a good job today getting the leadoff batter on each time, and each time they've gotten the leadoff batter on, they've been able to push them across from a score, and that's the reason they lead right now 3-2. G lays down the bunt, and it was laid down perfectly that time, and it's going to be an infield single. There's a little confusion on who to get to that one between the pitcher and the catcher, as it was in no man's land, and G gets the leadoff runner on for the 4th straight inning here for Northeast.
Baseman number 11, Madison Jillian.
So it is Jillian. Jillian is how you say her name, so I do apologize for mispronouncing that earlier. So Jillian at the plate, shows butt, lays it down nicely, gloved, and the put out, so a sacrifice bunt. 5-3 on the put out. Remind you that all sacrifices are brought to you by the Baptist Student Union, the oldest organization on campus at ICC, being sponsored, or I guess say in charge, by Brother Chris Burrows. They meet Mondays at 7:07 at night, and then Wednesdays they meet during E period, which is lunch. The Baptist Student Union, an organization designed to link campus life with the life of the church. So runner in scoring position now, 1 out. That pitch apparently just high for a ball.
See it right, Bree. Relax and pick up a good pitch here and drive.
So this is Martin at the plate. Swings on this one, pops it back off the net for a strike. Caitlin Bradley, or excuse me, that's not Caitlin Bradley. Caitlin McDuffie. So many Caitlins on this team this year. But Caitlin McDuffie in the circle. She is replacing Cassidy Hardy, who went 2+ innings. This pitch popped up. Double, though, as the center fielder comes up and makes the play. Nice job that time by Roberts coming in and getting the second out of the inning. And now that's going to bring up Van Lanningham, the pitcher, here for Northeast.
The pitcher, number 5, Alyssa Van Landingham.
Alyssa Van Lanningham, a chance to help out her cause here with a base hit. You got the Speedy G on second here. ICC trying to get out of this inning with no damage done. That pitch across. Oh, good looking pitch that time. That one called a ball. As we said, though, the umpires not giving these pitchers the corners today, and they've been consistent on both sides of the coin, and that's pretty much what you want from umpires is consistency. This pitch lifted, fouled it back and out of play, evens the count now at 1-1. Van Lanningham, a slap hitter. She grounded out to second, who applied the tag to Martin to end the second inning in her first at bat of the day. Two outs, runner on second for Northeast. Swing and a miss, throw down and got her. No, she missed the tag. As G that time gets the steal. The throw was a little up the line. So now they put the runner in scoring position. 1-2 is the count here on Van Lanningham. It'll be big time for our first Trustmark Bank strikeout of the day here for McDuffie. Swing and a miss, and that's just what the doctor ordered. Brought to you by Wheeler Family Dentistry right there in Fulton. Our first Trustmark Bank strikeout of the day, and it ends the inning. And the first time today that Northeast has not played a run in the inning. So Northeast, no runs, 1 hit, no error. We've played 4, and 3-2 the Lady Tigers lead. We're going to take a break and be back with more here on Let'sGoICC.com right after this. Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust. So this is Autumn Bonner. She grounded out 4-3 in her first at bat of the day. Stands in, takes that first pitch, low for a ball. Van Lanningham still in the circle for Northeast. Starting to hear a little bit of life out of the ICC dugout. That pitch, low and inside for a ball. 2-0 now is the count here on Bonner. Lukens on deck. She had a single and drove in a run in her first at bat. That pitch just a little low. Once again, these umpires ain't going to give you the corners. That one's just a little low, I guess, for his liking. Bonner ahead in the count now, 3-0. You got to figure taking the whole way here. And she did, and was inside for ball 4. So Bonner, the catcher, will get a leadoff walk here. We'll see if the Indians, and they are going to do it. Ties is going to come in as a courtesy runner for the catcher, Shanira Ties.
Courtesy runner at first base, number 9, Shanira Ties. And the batter for the Indians
So
is number
Ties
13, the third baseman, Maddie Lukens.
Comes in to run. Maddie Lukens will dig in here at the plate. With a runner on first and no outs, Lady Indians trailing 3-2.
Come on, working ahead. Get up in the box with her here.
So Lukens digs in, waiting for the pitch. Shows bunt, nothing there. Trying to snap throw back to first. Thought she had pulled her hand off the bag. Actually had it on the backside that time. The umpire gave her time. So a near toss out of ties. That would have been tough to swallow for the Lady Indians.
Here we go.
So Lukens shows bunt, lays it down nicely this time. Throw across the way is in time, and a sacrifice bunt. And Ties that time got a little bit of a lead, drew the throw, excuse me, and it got away. So Lukens with a sacrifice bunt. 2-3 on the putout. That sacrifice bunt brought to you by the Baptist Student Union, the oldest organization on campus at ICC. If you ain't got nothing going on Monday nights at 7:07, go by and visit the Baptist Student Union. Now up is going to be Taylor Thornton. She drew a walk her first time up. Tying run on second from Ties. Thornton showed bunt, pulled back, took it for ball one. 3-2 is your score. We're in the top of the fifth. Lady Indians trailing this one in game two. ICC needs a spark here. Thornton fouls that one back into your living room. So runner on second is Ties. There's one out here in the inning. Board is showing 1-1 is the count here on Thornton. Of course, talked about it a couple times. It hasn't been right, or it's been spotty at times today. That time a slap ball down to first. They look for the throw over, and they get it. It's a little small ball action here. Score that one 3-4 on the putout, but it did advance the runner, so a sacrifice bunt for Thornton. And so ICC needing a big two-out hit here, and it's coming from Haley Moore. Moore reached on an error, scored a run her first time up, and popped out to first in her last at bat. A base hit here will score a run and tie the contest. That pitch low and outside for a ball. If a wild pitch were to get away, Ties has got some wheels down at third, so it could play a run for the Lady Indians. So Northeast trying to get out of this inning with no damage done and escape with no runs on the board. Moore takes that pitch. Lead for a strike. 1-1 now is the count here on Moore. If Moore were to reach, then Caitlin Bradley would be up next for the Lady Indians. 3-2 is your score. We're in the top of the fifth of game two. Wow. Van Lanningham kind of just had to laugh that one off, as that pitch called a ball. 2-1 now is the count here. As I said, though, I mean, the umpire's been consistent. He hasn't given any corners for either team. Moore with a shot past the third baseman. It's going to score a run. We're tied. Big time hit from the sophomore to be able to get the run in, and that's a sonic drive in there, an RBI, and we're tied at 3. So Ties scores as a courtesy runner.
Shortstop number 8, Caitlin Bradley.
And now the birthday girl, Caitlin Bradley, due up. Raphael calling it. He's in a 2-run shot from Bradley. Raphael, if that's the case, then I will buy your snack on the way home, because we're going to get a barbecue plate at the Bluegrass Festival, which starts in 9 minutes.
Why not hit a home run
Yeah.
on your birthday?
So that pitch, high and outside, snap throw down to first, not in time. That one goes for ball one. We're tied at 3-3 now. A clutch hit, or an RBI single, brought to you by the sonic drive-in of Fulton, coming from Haley Moore. We're tied 3-3 here in the top of the fifth of game two. Caitlin Bradley lined into an unfortunate double play her last time up. Runner goes. Moore a little slow out of the gate. Said it got her. She couldn't quite get her footing underneath her. Coach Kurt coming out to argue the call. and said that she brought up the ball out of her glove. Stealing has not been a friend of the Lady Indians this season, so Moore caught stealing to end the inning. We're tied 3-3. We're going to take a break and move to the bottom of the 5th inning right after this. And all except for the last inning has resulted in runs. That pitch just a little low for a ball. Umpires have been consistent, so you can't complain about it. They haven't given either team those corners all day. McDuffie zips that one across to even up the count now at 1-1 with that strike. We talked about McDuffie coming up with a big Trustmark Bank strikeout to end the 4th inning with a runner on 3rd for Northeast. Duffy deals the 1-1 pitch here. It's high and inside, nearly hitting Gates, so Gates had to duck out of the way. Heard one of the Northeast fans make a good point there, said keep your bat down, because that one she almost turned into with the bat. So 3-3 is your score. Pitch coming, swing and a miss for strike 2. Now the count goes 2-2. Well, Gates loaded up and swung on that one. The infield in dramatically here, with Moore basically pretty much standing even with McDuffie. Lukens midway down the 3rd baseline. 1-2 pitch coming. It's hit down the line directly to Henry. Henry stepped on the bag, and that's a big out there for the Lady Indians, as that's the first time here in Game 2 that Gates has been retired. As we talked about, she's walked twice, she's stolen 2 bases, and has scored 2 runs. So that right there was a big out to start the inning here. Now Springer will be up. Springer 0 for 1 with a walk. She was caught stealing as they tried a squeeze play. And good job by Autumn Bonner there in the 3rd inning. Faked the throw down. Springer bit and came down, and Bonner just applied a simple tag for the putout. Foul forward. Bonner gloves it, throws overs and low, and a E2 on the play that time, as that should have been a routine out. Springer's got pretty good speed, but that time a bad throw in the dirt puts Springer on. So a 1-out error puts Springer on, and now up is going to be Cooper.
Designated player Yasmin Cooper.
So Yasmin Cooper, she had a sacrifice bunt her first time up. She stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike. 1 out, a runner on first. We're tied 3-3 here in the bottom of the 5th inning of Game 2 between ICC and Northeast. This North Division opener for both squads. Lady Indians won the first game of the day 13-3 in 5 innings. This pitch pops straight up, staying in play. Bonner calling everyone off, steps up and makes the play in foul territory. So good job by Bonner coming back to get that 2nd out. So now up is going to be the catcher, Christian. She had a single and drove in a run, stole a base her last time up. So Christian digs in here trying to spark a 2-out rally. A runner on first for Northeast. The game is tied at 3. McDuffie's pitch, outside runner goes, throw down is in time but couldn't get a glove on it, as that was going to be close, as Bonner did a good job of just getting that pitch that was in the dirt a little bit out of her glove and threw it down in good time, just couldn't quite get it there in time as the ball bounced away. A stolen base for Springer. She moves into scoring position. 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 5th, tied 3-3. Runner on second now, as Christian will dig in. Takes that pitch high for a ball. Christian had a pretty good game in Game 1, if I remember correctly. She went 2 for 3 with a pair of RBIs. It's a time called here from Coach Kirk. Timeout on, and Fulton proud to be a part of the ICC advertising family here on Let'sGoICC.com. McDuffie's pitch drifting inside for a ball. You're going to have to pretty much just load it up and put it where the batters are going to be tempted to swing at it in this contest because the edge of the plates have not been there today. And that's going to be a walk issued to Christian. And now up is going to be Waters. Dangerous at-bat coming here. So Shannon Good will come in to run. So actually Good had that stolen base earlier in the contest. She will come in again to run here. It looks like we may be having a McDonald's pitching change, and that is going to be the case as Kara Hopper will come in to warm up some pitches here. We're going to take another 1 minute timeout and be back with more as we're just 1 out away from trying to get out of this 5th inning. We're tied 3-3 in Boonville. Giving up 7 hits, 7 runs, 3 earned, 5 walks, and 5 strikeouts. She's got a 2.25 ERA. That first pitch low for a ball. So Hopper in her warm-up struggling, getting the pitches up in the zone a little bit. ICC 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. That pitch low gets away. Runners will advance on the wild pitch. So now the go-ahead run on third. Hopper's got to be careful here. As Waters, who had a big hit in the 2nd inning, she doubled and scored a run, but she flew out to right in her last at bat. So Hopper quickly behind in the count now, 3-0. 3-0 pitch coming for Hopper. And it's low for a ball, so all 4 pitches low and out of the zone for Hopper, and that'll bring up Whitney G. G singled her last time up, grounded out 5-3 in her first at bat of the game. Bases loaded here for Northeast, 2 outs.
Left fielder, number 9, Whitney
So Hopper needing to find a way to get out of this inning here. She enters with a tie contest. That pitch right across the heart of the plate for a strike. Good job by Hop that time, coming up and finding the strike zone after delivering 4 straight pitches low and out of the zone. Swing and a miss. Hopper quickly ahead in the count now, 0-2. Nice job taking a little bit off that fastball that time. So let's see if Hopper can find a way to get a big Trustmark Bank strikeout to get out of this jam here. Hopper's pitch coming. This one popped back and off the netting. The count stays 0-2. Remind everyone, if you're in the Fulton area and want to make it out to the 19th Annual Gospel Bluegrass Concert, well, the pre-show has started about 5 minutes ago. The main show, Daly and Vincent, will start off at 4:30. You still have time for that. There's a dribbler to third, glove, threw across the way, and a good job by Hop to induce the ground out, and the Lady Indians get out of the inning with no damage done. We remain tied at 3, and we move to the top of the 6th. Before we do that, we're going to take a break and be back with more here from Boonville right after this. Also want to welcome everyone watching that's supporting the Tigers of Northeast. The baseball drawing the Northeast broadcast today, so we're happy to be able to help out and team with Blake Long, the SID here at Northeast, to be able to bring this action here for the Tiger fans. That first pitch across for a strike. You've got the 2-3-4 batters due up here. Caitlin Bradley, Roberts, and Hopper all due up for the Lady Indians in the top of the 6th inning. 3-3 is your score. That pitch a little low and outside for a ball. Leaves the count now at 1-1. Here a faint chop coming across the way from the ICC dugout. Some of the fans starting to file out slowly but surely as the temperature quickly dropping here in Boonville. There's a shot and it gets past the second baseman. Bradley will have to hustle. That was a good play by the right fielder that time for Northeast to charge up on that play. Made it a little bit closer than it thought it was going to be, but a leadoff single there for the birthday girl, Caitlin Bradley. So Bradley reaches,
Center fielder Courtney Roberts.
single to right, and now up is going to be the center fielder, Courtney Roberts. Roberts, flew out in foul territory to the third baseman her first time up, and then was hit by a pitch in her second at bat. You'd love to see Roberts be able to extend that bat here and get a solid lick on one. Stands in, takes that first pitch across for a strike. 3-3 is your score. We're in the top of the sixth inning here in Boonville. Of course, for those that were looking at your schedule card and may have not been paying attention to our Twitter account, by the way, is at Let's Go ICC. This game originally scheduled for Fulton on Friday. Shows bunt, fouls it off. But as we said, this game originally scheduled for Fulton on Friday. Due to record-breaking snows that came through Itawamba County, the game was pushed back to today. And the field was in playing condition, but not one that they really wanted to play on. So basically ICC and Northeast just flip-flopped the home and away dates. And I want to say it's March the 27th. Don't quote me on that, though. It's whenever we will host Northeast. I know it's on a Friday later this month. That pitch high for a ball. We're trying to see if they were going to see if Bradley would have been moving on that one, but she was not. So if you do have your schedule card or schedule poster, it's showing at Northeast later this month. It will be actually at ICC.
Going.
Runner goes, and the pitch is fouled off. Try a little hit and run action that time for the Lady Indians. I believe the count now goes 1-2 here on red. See if the umpire will show the count here. I know there's 2 strikes for sure. The board showing 1-2. Runner on first is Caitlin Bradley. Courtney Roberts at the plate. Hopper on deck. That pitch low for a ball. 2-2 now goes the count here on Roberts. So Lady Indians trying to spark a rally here in the top of the 6th. See if they can sneak out of Boonville with the sweep of the Lady Tigers today. This is the North Division opener for both teams. Roberts swings and a miss. Runner goes. Throw is not in time. It was up a little bit that time. So Bradley steals, and that's going to be a Trustmark Bank strikeout for Roberts, or excuse me, for Van Lanningham. Tell you what, I have been impressed, though, today by Christian behind the plate. She's thrown out a pair of runners in the first game today, made that one close, and a throw, I guess, up the second base side would have possibly resulted in an out. So now the go-ahead run for the Lady Indians in scoring position for Kara Hopper. She grounded out 3-4 her last time up, had a sacrifice fly to right in her first at bat. So Lady Indians working with 1 out and a runner on second right now on the top of the 6th. We're tied at 3. Dribbler forward to the short. Throw across the way is in time. So 6-3 on the putout that time. And now Lady Indians have got to try to battle now with 2 outs and a runner on second, Arian Henry. Henry 0 for 2 on this game 2. She had a pair of doubles in the first game of the day. In her first at bat, she flew out to right after putting a charge in one. And then she popped out, or flew out, I should say, to left in foul territory in her last at bat. So Henry trying to find a way to spark a 2-out rally here. Henry takes that first pitch across for a strike. That's the second time today we've seen the catcher come out and talk to the pitcher after a pretty good delivery on a strike call. Maybe just a little miscommunication on the pitches, as you saw the catcher kind of drifting outside, having to come back inside to get the pitch. So Christian making sure she and Van Lanningham is on the same page here. Change up. Reach forward, bobbled around, and Springer finds it and gets the putout. Score that one 3-4 on the putout. And Bradley is left stranded in the top of the 6. First pitch swung on, grounded back to Hop, and the throw over in time for out number 1. So Jillian sees the first pitch, swings on it, and grounds out back to the pitcher. Now up is going to be Martin. Martin 1 for 2 on the day. She singled and flew out to center in her last at bat.
Second baseman, number 23, Maggie Martin.
So Maggie Martin will dig in here with 1 out and nobody on in the bottom of the 6th. Martin swings at that rise ball, comes up empty for strike 1. We'll remind everybody you see highlights from this game on letsgoicc.com as well as other games throughout the year. Raphael Henry doing an outstanding job as our video operations coordinator, her first year in that position. And wow, a good looking pitch that time, but as they said, not given any corner pitches for either team today, and that one painted the corner, but not enough for a strike. So 1-1 is the count here on Martin. That pitch low and outside, or excuse me, low and inside. Make the count now 2-1 on Martin. On deck is Van Lanningham. She has pitched a jewel today. There's a shot off the glove of the pitcher, and it's going to go for a single that time. Well, Hopper listed at 5'7". If she's 5'8", she makes the play for the out that time. But either way it goes, a single right back up the middle. So a 1-out single by Martin, her second hit of the contest. And so now Alyssa Van Lanningham. She struck out, swinging her last time up, grounded out to the second baseman. Actually, the second baseman tagged the runner, trying to advance from first to end the second. Lady Indians could use a big-time double play here, brought to you by Tupelo State Farm agent Rich Potter. Van Lanningham, a slap hitter, swings on that rise ball, misses on it for strike 1. So runner on first. There's 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Shows bunt, pulls back, takes that one for a ball. So 1-1 is the count here on Van Lanningham. 3-3 is your score. Shows bunt, fouls that one back. Hopper that time jammed the batter. Van Lanningham did a good job of trying to find a little piece of the ball that time, but fouls it back for strike 2. 1-2. Now is the count here on Van Lanningham. Swing and a miss. A big Trustmark Bank strikeout from Kara Hopper. And that goes for the second out. Remind you, Trustmark Bank with locations on the square in Fulton, as well as 624 Main Street in Columbus. Trustmark Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust. And you can trust that was a big strikeout there for Hop. Is that pitch outside for a ball? Lady Indians now working with 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 6th. We're tied 3-3, and this is Gates at the plate. Gates takes that one for a strike, even with the count now at 1-1. We talked about what Gates has done today. She's officially 0 for 1. She grounded out to first in her last at bat. Then she's walked twice, stole 2 bases, and scored twice. So Gates has been effective here for Northeast in game 2. Runner goes, throw down is in time, and got her out. Nice job that time by Autumn Bonner. 2-6 on the putout, and the Lady Indians in the inning there as we stay tied 3-3 as we move to the 7th inning. Back with more here on Let'sGoICC.com right after this. So Schenkel will dig in facing Van Landingham, and there's a line shot, but right to the second baseman. Second baseman almost in self-defense mode, was able to find that one, get a glove on it, and get the put out. That's another foot to the left. Lakin looking at a double to the gap, but a good play that time at second by number 23. That's Maggie Martin. So one out now, and Autumn Bonner. Or excuse me, now we're going to have a hitter coming in here for Bonner, and this is going to be number 25. This is going to be Katrina Wilson. Wilson, the freshman out of Lafayette County High School, will come in a pinch hit situation for the catcher. So Wilson getting her first at bat of the afternoon. Stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike. So Wilson takes that first pitch for a strike. There's one out in the top of the 7th inning. 3-3 is your score. That time jammed her up, swung on it, and quickly ahead on the count now is Van Landingham, 0-2. So Wilson's going to have to guard the dish here behind the count, 0-2.
Throw me a money pitch right here.
They signaled in the call, and Landingham didn't like it, so now the catcher, Christian, is going to come out and talk to her pitcher here. I don't know if there's a little confusion or if she just wants to try to throw a certain pitch here to see if what's been working for her. So they talk it over. Christian comes back, and Van Landingham will reset. So Wilson behind the count now, 0-2. Got to guard the dish here with one out in the top of the 7th. That pitch drifts outside for a ball. Couldn't quite get her to chase on that one that time. As we said, the umpire's been consistently not giving the outside corners or inside corners all game. So just couldn't quite get her to chase on that pitch. 1-2 now is the count. Wilson dribbles that one forward. They say it's a foul ball, so Wilson will stay alive at the plate. Well, Katrina battling right now, trying to find a way to stay alive here. She's behind the count, 1-2. Able to find a piece of that one to keep this at-bat alive. There's one out, top of the 7th inning. Lukens on deck for the Lady Indians. Wilson pops this one up, back and out of play. So the count will stay 1-2. Good at bat right now by Katrina, battling at the dish. She can just find a way to get a solid lick on the ball. Katrina can bat for power. No wind blowing here at the ballpark. We're in the top of the 7th inning. We're tied 3-3 here, but in game 2 between ICC and Northeast. There's a shot, and it gets through. Good at bat that time by the freshman out of Lafayette. Battled, and it paid off as she sneaks a single through that time, and so she will reach. Great at bat that time by the freshman. Fell behind the count quickly, 0-2. Count went 1-2 on her, then she fouled off 2 or 3 pitches to stay alive, and then ripped that one past the third baseman. Now up is going to be Maddie Lukens. Lukens had a sacrifice bunt. Her last time up, she singled to drive in a run in the 2nd. So one out here in the top of the 7th. Lady Indians looking to get a run here. That pitch across for a strike. Wilson on first. There's one out.
Hey, she probably ain't going nowhere. Catch the ball. Pitch it.
Lukens will dig in here. She's behind the count 0-1.
Play right here.
So Van Lanningham's pitch coming. Lukens showed bunt, drew back on it. Now the count evens up at 1-1. You're going to see how the defense plays this after Lukens showed bunt that time. See if they stay with the bunt here. Infield is drawn in a little bit. This time lays down the bunt, and it's caught. Lukens and Springer collide.
Let's go. Let's let him make an out right there.
And you got to give credit where credit's due. Great job by Springer that time, charging up. Saw Lukens coming towards her and was able to still make the play for out number 2.
The designated player.
So now that's going to bring up Taylor Thornton with 2 outs and a runner on first. So Taylor Thornton, who had a sacrifice bunt her last time up and drew a walk in her first at bat, trying to spark a 2-out rally here. That pitch, ooh, first time he's called that one for a strike all day. So Thornton takes that one. Try to say Taylor and Thornton at the same time, but it's Thornton takes that one for a strike. 2 outs, runner on first. We're tied 3-3 here in the top of the 7th of game 2 between ICC and Northeast. Bunt popped up and out of play, or excuse me, goes foul, I should say. So Lady India's trying to sneak in a base hit out of the slap hitter here in Thornton. So count now, I believe, is 1-2 on the freshman from Carroll Academy. So Thornton will have to guard the dish here. The scoreboard showing 0-2 is the count. Van Lanningham digs in and delivers her pitch. That pitch is high. Throw down to second is not in time. A stolen base for Wilson. A rare steal in the day on Christian, as she, as we talked about, has had 2 or 3 putouts at second. So now the go-ahead run at second. If Thornton can find something through the infield, it could possibly score Wilson from second. Outfield comes in. That pitch low in the dirt, gets away, and now Wilson will advance on the wild pitch. A base hit, it'd be big right now for Thornton. 3-3 is your score. We're in the top of the 7th. 1-2 is the count, I believe. Board is showing 2-2. A base hit would be huge here for Thornton. Pitch coming. Popped on, lifted foul, and it's going to be an out. Thought it might have had a chance to get out of play, but instead, foul ball on the putout, and Northeast gets out of the inning with no damage done. Well, we have played, or excuse me, we will go to the bottom of the 7th. Game still tied 7-7. We'll take a break and be back with more here from Boonville right after this. Gates stands in, takes that first pitch for a strike. We talked about Gates has been the thorn in the side of the Lady Indians. She's only been retired once, walked twice, and she's scored twice, along with stealing a pair of bases as well. Swing and a miss. 0-2 now is the count here on Gates. Hopper quickly ahead in the count now. We could be looking at, hopefully be looking at extra innings here as we're in the bottom of the 7th of game 2. And there's a big Trustmark Bank strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts now from Kara Hopper. Of course, that Trustmark Bank strikeout. Remember, Trustmark Bank located on the square in Fulton, as well as 624 Main Street in Columbus. Trustmark Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust. And so now up will be Avery Springer. Springer's had a nice day defensively at the plate. She's reached on an error, stole the base, advanced on a wild pitch, was left stranded in the 5th. She's also walked, was caught stealing in the 3rd, and grounded out 5-3. That pitch just a little low and outside. 1-1 now is the count here on Springer. Springer at the plate, Cooper on deck. Hopper starting to work with purpose inside the circle now. This pitch popped up. Haley Moore calling everyone off, stepped back and makes the play. So 2 away now here in the bottom of the 7th. Haley Moore doing a nice job coming up and making the play that time for the Lady Indians.
Designated player Yasmin Cooper.
So now up will be Cooper. Cooper popped out in foul territory to the catcher her last at bat. She had a sacrifice bunt in the 3rd, and then had an RBI ground out in the 1st. Swing and a miss there on that one. So 0-1 now is the count here on Cooper. Lady Indians looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning here, see if they can get to the 8th inning. That pitch high and outside for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here on Cooper. Hopper, the 3rd pitcher we've seen here in game 2. Cassidy Hardy got the start. Caitlin McDuffie came in. And there's a shot, and it's lifted down the line. This is going to be a double. And that's going to be a 2-out double there by Cooper. So now the Lady Indians have got to be careful here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, and Christian coming to the plate here for Northeast. So the game-winning run is at second right now for Haley Christian. Or excuse me, game-winning run is at second for Northeast, and this is Haley Christian at the plate. She walked her last time up. She does have an RBI single here in game 2. She's also flown out to right. Takes that first pitch just outside for a ball. As we said, the umpires have been consistently not giving the corners all day today. That was a good-looking pitch from Hop that time. This shot fouled off the net, evens the count now at 1-1. So 1-1 now is the count here on Christian. Don't have to have a strikeout. We can get a ground out in this inning here and move to the 8th. 3-3 is your score, but Northeast has the game-winning run on second. There's 2 outs here at the bottom of the 7th, so drama building in Boonville. This pitch fouled back. 1-2 now is the count here on Christian. But you've got plenty of speed on second in Cooper. She just doubled to the gap. So now Christian got to protect the plate here. 1-2 is the count on the catcher. Swing and a miss. Just what the doctor ordered. That changeup. The first time we've seen that today out of Hopper. And that brought to you by Dr. Ron Wheeler Dentistry. Dr. Ron Wheeler and Wheeler Family Dentistry. A Trustmark Bank strikeout, the 3rd of the game. And we're going to move to the 8th. We're tied 3-3. We're going to take a 1-minute timeout, and we'll be back with more here in Boonville in Game 2 right after this on Let'sGoICC.com. Van Lanningham still in the contest here for Northeast, so she is going the distance in this one. This one dribbled forward, going to be called a foul ball. So Moore, who got a pretty good break out of the box that time, might have been able to get down there in time, but that one rolled just foul, so a good decision by Christian behind the plate to let that one roll foul. So nothing but a basic strike on that one. This pitch lifted, right fielder drifting back, and it's caught. Wow, what a catch out in right field. As that was Jorda Waters robbing an extra base hit.
Stop, Caitlin Bradley.
As she lost the ball to make a over-the-shoulder jumping catch that time for the out. If not, that's down, and that could have possibly, with more speed, led to a run. So Northeast, wow, catching a break there. So now, Caitlin Bradley at the dish. Bradley takes that first pitch across for a strike. We talked about it. Caitlin Bradley, it's her birthday. Why not hit yourself a home run here on your birthday, Caitlin? She's 2 for 3 in the contest today. She lined into an unfortunate double play in the third. This one popped up and out of play for a strike. I think that's strike 2 on the play. She singled, stole a base her last time up in her first at bat. She singled, stole a base, and then was thrown out trying to tag up on a sacrifice fly by Hopper. That was in the first. Bradley watches that one across. That one in the dirt for a ball. I think 1 and 2 is the count. As we said, the board not necessarily keeping up today with the counts. Of course, I think this is only their second home game at Northeast, so they're still breaking in some people on the scoreboard. That pitch just missing, as we said. Not giving those borderline pitches either way today. So that goes for a ball. 2 and 2 now is the count here on Bradley. Two pitch coming. That one outside for a ball, so now the count goes full. Good eye that time by Bradley to hold off on that one. So here we go. Full count pitch coming from Van Lanningham. There's one out. We're in the top of the 8th inning, tied at 3-3.
Come on, Fab. Bow down right here.
Van Lanningham's offering. Back up the middle. Nice job that time by Caitlin Bradley. Bradley, have yourself a day, young lady. She's got 6 hits on the afternoon. And that one coming in a big way. So now Bradley gets on with 1 out.
Number 3, Courtney Roberts.
And now up is going to be Courtney Roberts. Roberts struck out her last time up, was hit by a pitch, and she popped out in foul territory to third in her first at bat of the day. So we've talked about if anybody being due, that is going to be Courtney Roberts. Come up with a big hit here. Swing and misses on the first one. Fastball that time. Couldn't catch up with it for strike 1. Bradley on first. She does have a pair of steals on the day, so Northeast has got to respect that in this sense. She's also been caught stealing in game 1. Roberts shows bunt, swings and misses.
Good job right there, Fab.
Trying to see if they can keep the defense honest that time. And now she's behind the count 0-2. So Roberts has got a battle. We saw her last time. Excuse me, that was Wilson that battled. It was able to find a way on base with a single. So now you've got to protect the plate here. Behind the count 0-2.
Nope.
Ooh. That pitch just low. Once again, umpire not giving those borderline pitches for either team today. So a break there for the Lady Indians is, I expected that to be strike 3. Runner goes, throws down, is not in time, so strikeout. This is the second time today that Red has struck out, and now up is going to be Kara Hopper. Hopper still on the hook here, as she is the pitcher for record. Could really help herself out right now
The pitcher number 6
with a base hit.
Hopper.
Anything down in the outfield, or actually it had to be down in the outfield because there's 2 outs now in the top of the 8th, but anything in the outfield could easily score Bradley from second. So Hopper, she's had a sacrifice fly to drive in a run. She's also 0 for 2. She's grounded out twice. That pitch low for a ball. Van Lanningham being a warrior here in this one. She's gone 8 innings so far for the Tigers. It's still looking pretty strong. There's a shot, and it's foul. Oh, that one would have scored a run there, but just hooked foul for Hopper. Thought it might have ricocheted off the third baseman's glove, but it did not. And so a break for Northeast, as that would have pushed across Bradley. Bradley might have been able to score twice on that one. She got such a good jump. I think they tried to set up a hit and run situation there, so nothing but an exciting strike on Hopper.
I know. Go, be ready. Come on now.
Hopper watches that one across for a ball. Once again, you're not getting those borderline calls. Man, it's been close, but as we said, though, what you want is consistency out of the umpire, and he's been consistent on both sides. Called the pitch in. Van Lanningham did not like it, so they rescinded another one.
Come on now. No, you can't right here. Come on, 5, finish.
Hopper lifts one to center field. Drifting back is the center fielder and makes the play for out number 3. So a charge in at that time, but couldn't quite get enough of it, and that's going to end the inning. The Lady Indians, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. We'll move to the bottom of the 8th inning, but we'll take another 1-minute timeout and be back with more right after this. She doesn't have any of those dramatics here in game 2 at the plate, as that first pitch low for a ball. So Waters, G, and Jillian due up here for Northeast in the bottom of the 8th. 3-3 is your score. Swing and a miss. That time by Waters. 1-1 now is the count here. Well, a packed house is quickly thinning into a sparse few as the temperatures continue to drop here in Boonville. Showed bunt and committed to it. 1-2 now is the count here on Waters. Well, you've seen each team try small ball. They've swung away. They've done anything, but these two division foes and rivals battling to the bitter end here. Swing and a miss, and another Trustmark Bank strikeout. 4 of those on the afternoon here for Kara Hopper. Trustmark Bank, another remind you, locations on the square in Fulton, also at 624 Main Street in Columbus. Trustmark Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust. Now Whitney G at the plate. She's 1 for 3 on the day. She's singled and stole a base. This pitch popped out of play for strike 1. We do want to thank everyone watching here on Let's Go ICC. If you're watching on Let's Go ICC, hit us up on Twitter at Let's Go ICC. That's also you Northeast fans. We'd like to hear from you as well. So we do welcome you watching here, powered by the NJCAA TV as well as Team 1 Sports. Hopper's pitch, rise ball that just drifted out of the zone for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here on G. Jillian on deck if either one of those were to reach, and then Martin, the number 8 batter, is in the hole. Swing and a miss that time. Hopper bringing the heat, blew it past G that time. And so 1-2 is the count now here on G. Lights are on here at Boonville City Park. Couldn't get her to chase one lower in the zone that time. So the lights getting fired up here. Not too often you see softball played under the lights, especially at Northeast or ICC. That pitch just gets away on Hopper. So Hopper now dealing with a full count. 3-2 is the count now on G. So 3-2 pitch coming, swing and a miss, and another Trustmark Bank strikeout, just what the doctor ordered. Brought to you by Dr. Ron Wheeler and Wheeler Family Dentistry, located on South Adams Street in Fulton. Back-to-back strikeouts by Hopper. Looks like Moore is coming in as the teammates are looking at her, may have a little dirt in her eye. So 2 away here. And the Lady Indians trying to get out of this one here and force this game into extra innings again. We're tied 3-3. Jillian takes that first pitch for a strike, shakes her head yes, and agrees with the call. Hopper is grooving. She's had 3 strikeouts, 5 altogether, but 3 in a row. Man, it'd be big if she can get her 6th. That pitch looking good there, but once again, the umpire staying true to form, not giving anything that's on the borderline pitches. So that is the count now at 1-1. That pitch high and outside for a ball. 2-1 now is the count here on Jillian. If Jillian were to reach, Martin would be up next, and Van Lanningham would be in the hole for Northeast. This pitch popped up, drifting back, and it's going to be a double. Thought there for a second it might have had a chance to get out of here, but Jillian steps up with a big double there. And this is where we saw Northeast in the 7th inning. They had their game-winning run on second. But now up is going to be Martin. Martin 2 for 3 on the day. She singled but was caught stealing to end the 6th inning in her last at-bat. She flew out to center in the 4th and singled but was left stranded. Or excuse me, no, she was tagged out in the 2nd. So 2 outs now here in the 8th. That pitch across for a strike. Be a big time for Hopper to get her 6th strikeout, or just an out anywhere is what we're asking for now for the Lady Indians. 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. That pitch high for a ball. 1-1 now is the count here on Martin. On deck, Van Lanningham. 1-1 is the count here on Martin. Game-winning run at second is Jillian. This one pops straight up. Hopper calling everyone off, comes in and makes the play. So Hopper retires 3, and the Lady Indians get out of the inning with no damage done. Guess what? We're playing 9. So we're going to go to the 9th inning here. As for some reason I'm getting a chat from the folks at NJCA TV. I don't want to talk to y'all. We want to go to the 7th. When we do, we'll be back in 1 minute right after this. Well, the sun continues to drift away here in Boonville.
Come on.
As Henry takes that first pitch in there for a strike. I've been very impressed with Van Lanningham this afternoon here in Boonville. Schenkel on deck, Bonner in the hole. There's a swing, dribble forward. Shortstop couldn't get to it, and Henry will reach. I'm going to give her a single on that one, as that was a tough play for the shortstop. And so Arian reaches on a leadoff double. Looks like we'll have a pinch runner coming in here for Henry. And this is going to be Ties coming in to run for Henry. So Lady Indians trying to get a little bit more speed on the bases here. And so that'll put a pinch runner in, Shanaria Ties at first. And now up is going to be Lakin Schenkel. So Schenkel will be up here. Schenkel on the day. 1 for 3 here in game 2, I should say, instead of on the day. A chance for the sophomore to come up with a big hit here. So a runner on first. We're in the top of the 9th inning. 3-3 is your score. This has been an instant classic between these two rivals. Schenkel shows bunt, lays it down nicely. Sacrifice bunt, advances a runner into scoring position. So a sacrifice bunt. Score that one 3-4 on the putout. That sacrifice bunt brought to you by the Baptist Student Union. Remind you, they meet Monday nights at 7:07, also Wednesdays at lunch. Located across from President Eaton's house, basically. Kind of across from e-learning, I guess you can say. Brother Crispos and company doing a great job there. So Ties advances to second on the bunt. And now up is going to be Autumn Bonner. Bonner, who has caught both games today, so we got to give a tip of the cap to both catchers for ICC and Northeast, and Christian for battling behind the plate today.
She's taking your eye off of you after 5 getter.
So runner at second is Ties. Bonner didn't want that one, and neither did the umpire. Wow. As we said, though, these umpires have been consistent both ways, not giving either team those borderline pitches, and that was another one of them right there that they weren't able to pull the trigger on. A break, if you will, for the Lady Indians. Pitch coming. Bonner stands in and takes that one for a strike. 1-2 now is the count here on Bonner. So Van Lanningham taking her time right now. Ahead in the count, 1-2 on Bonner. That pitch high, evens the count now at 2-2. So need anything to the outfield, or a base hit to the outfield would score Ties. But you know, Ties would love to score that game-winning run, being a Baldwin native, so she's right here in the foothills of Northeast Territory. Bonner holds off on that pitch. It goes high, and now the count goes full at 3-2. So Bonner got to guard the dish here. Full count. Pitch coming. And it's low for a ball. Good at bat that time by Autumn Bonner. Draws the walk. And now we have a change in the lineup. This is going to be Hannah Johnson coming into bat for the Lady Indians. So she'll step in with 1 out and runners on first and second. We'll see if they're going to send in a courtesy runner for the catcher.
For Itawamba, pinch hitting, number 14, Hannah Johnson.
So Hannah Johnson will pitch hit in place of Maddie Lukens. I don't think they can, because the actual runner that courtesy ran for Bonner earlier in the game is now on second. So Bonner will stay in and running here. Runners on first and second. Hannah Johnson will dig in here. 3-3 is your score. Johnson takes that first pitch in there for strike 1. Well, in game 1, as this is the first at-bat of game 2 here for Hannah Johnson, Johnson in game 1 went 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Be a great time to get that third RBI on the day here for Johnson. That pitch in the dirt, but a nice job keeping it in front of her by Christian that time to keep the runners at first and second. 1-1 is the count now here on Johnson. Lady Indians with runners on first and second. 1 out here. We're in the top of the 9th inning. Johnson fouls that one off. 1-2 now is the count here on the sophomore from Branson, Missouri.
Mark pitch right here, 5.
On deck appears to be Taylor Thornton for the Lady Indians. 1-2 is your count here. Johnson takes a look at strike 3 that time. And that's a Trustmark Bank strikeout. Third of the day for Van Lanningham. And so now Taylor Thornton will come in. That strikeout brought to you by Trustmark Bank. And now there's 2 outs here. Like we are going to have a runner coming in now. This is going to be Caitlin Downey coming in to run for Bonner. So Downey into the contest to run.
First base for the catcher, number 5, Caitlin Downey.
So Downey in to run. Taylor Thornton at the plate once again, trying to work with 2 outs here in the top of the ninth. See if the Lady Indians can spark something and get a run on the board here. We're tied 3-3 in game 2. That pitch across for a strike. So that first pitch across for strike 1. Time is taken. Runners on first and second, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Thornton attempted at the bunt. That's going to be a strike.
Hey, don't get caught off guard right here on a sucker play.
I believe 0-2 now is the count here on Thornton.
Don't get caught off guard with a trick sucker play here now.
Northeast trying to get out of this jam.
Come on, listen. Come on, 5.
The freshman from Carroll Academy trying to keep it alive here. That pitch high. Good job by Christian climbing the ladder to keep that one in front of her. Van Lanningham still in the circle for Northeast. She's going the distance today here in game 2.
Go forward, come get her.
And there's a shot, but it's going to be a liner to the shortstop, and that will end it. So the Lady Indians put runners on first and second, but couldn't do anything with them. We have played, or excuse me, we'll go now to the bottom of the 9th inning. Lady Indians Northeast tied at 9. Back in a minute here from Boonville in game 2. Excuse me, tied at 3 as we move to the bottom of the 9th. Three is the score. That pitch across for a strike. Well, the sun has dipped low enough now to peek out of the clouds. That's a welcome sight here in Boonville.
Hit the one you want. Fight it off. You get what you want.
This pitch popped up, and it's going to drift out of play for strike 2. So Booth now behind in the count, 0-2. Well, Raphael, I'm afraid you're going to end up missing Daly and Vincent as they've just taken the stage. As that pitch in the dirt for a ball, 1-2 now is the count. But they have taken the stage of the 19th annual Gospel Bluegrass concert going on right now at the Davis Event Center. A near sellout, or probably sellout crowd. As there's a pitch, did she go? They're going to appeal and they say no. Woo! Woo! That was close, but as we said, neither of these umpires giving anything borderline today for either pitcher. 2-2 now is the count here on Booth. That pitch low for a ball. Wow. That was another borderline pitch. 9 times out of 10, You see that one call for strike 3 after a check swing. And there it is. Strikeout number 6 for Kara Hopper as she gets Booth looking that time. That's a Trustmark Bank strikeout. We've said it 6 times, and we're going to say it hopefully 2 more. Locations on the square in Fulton as well as 624 Main Street in Columbus. Trustmark Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust. As we now go back to the top of the lineup here for Northeast. That pitch in the dirt. So, 1-0 is the count here on Gates. That pitch across for a strike. Equals to the count now at 1-1. So 1-1 pitch coming here from Hopper. Dribble over to third, off the shoulder. Bradley grabs it, throws across the way, not in time. And they're going to call that one an error. E5 on the play. So Gates will reach on the error. So now 1 out here in the inning. And Gates, who has been a tough out today when she's been on the base, is on first, representing the game-winning run. So now up is going to be Avery Springer. She popped out to second in her last at-bat. Takes that first pitch high for a ball. Gates, as we've talked about, when she's gotten on, she's been dangerous. In her first 2 at-bats today, she drew walks, stole 2 bases, and scored 2 runs. The Lady Indians need to make sure that run does not score here if they want to go to the 10th, as we're tied 3-3. This pitch hit and fouled back out of play. Now, for some of you that are watching this game may be wondering the rule of the international tiebreaker rule. That does not go into effect now in division play until the 10th inning. So that will go into effect if we see the 10th inning here in Boonville. Gates at first. 1-1 count here on Springer. Springer fouls that one back for strike 2. Well, with Booth batting, you wonder if you're going to see Van Lanningham in the 10th. Be asking a lot for her to go 10 innings in this game. That pitch in the dirt. Gates thought about going, but scampers back in a hurry. With her speed, probably could have got to second. So a break there for the Lady Indians. Swing and a miss. And strikeout number 7 for Kara Hopper. That strikeout brought to you by Trustmark Bank, a neighborhood bank you can trust, located on the square in Fulton, as well as 624 Main Street in Columbus. So now 2 outs in the inning, and Cooper, who had a big double her last time up, digging in here against Hopper. Runner goes. Throw down is not in time. That was Gates, who was able to pick up the steal, her 3rd steal here in the contest. So now you got to not worry about the runner at second and just go after the batter here. 3-3 is your score, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. That pitch across for a strike. One and one now is the count here on Cooper. As we talked about, she had a big double her last at bat. 2 outs here. This pitch popped up. Trouble. The ball drops. And that's going to do it. Northeast has rallied to pick up the win on a walk-off single by Cooper. A little, excuse me if you will, blooper from Cooper. Excuse the rhyme as well. And Northeast picks up a 4-3 win here in 9 innings. And an instant classic between these 2 squads here, as we're going to take a 1-minute timeout and come back with the McDonald's postgame report here from Boonville as they split on the road as Northeast picks up a 4-3 Game 2 win.